Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful, great morning and a very great day. Indeed, I all hope you're enjoying yourselves as well, guys. I am so super grateful for your support, guys, in watching and in viewing my episodes. It gratefully, truly means a lot to me. It literally means a lot to me. If I can exactly inspire you for one, if I can actually inspire you with my dreams, then I'm very happy I can at least do that or provide comfort for you guys. It's very I'm very grateful for that. That I'm actually can if I can actually provide comfort for you guys during these difficult times, then I'm very happy that I'm actually helping some of you guys who are also going through a difficult time. But despite that, guys, I'm very superly grateful for your support in watching and in viewing my episodes. It gratefully means a lot to me. I hope you all know you don't have to give up on your dreams as well. You have to pursue them and you have to pursue them no matter what, and you have to go after them no matter how difficult it is as well. Despite that, guys, I'm superly grateful for your support in watching my shorts and videos. Gratefully means a lot. Completely means a lot. I all hope you have a wonderful, great day indeed. On today's episode, we're to speak about the Dark Witch Mary, who's a high ranking official in Lord Shadowjack's empire, who's aiding him in his conquest to conquer the known worlds and the known planets of the sacred universe and of the sacred world in order for him to remain the sole ruler of the known universe and of the rest of sacred existence in the process. And guys, Dark Mary is a very powerful dark witch, very devoted to Lord Shadowjack and his will to rule the known universe and the rest of the known worlds throughout the sacred universe and throughout the sacred world as well. So let's begin. In Dark Witch Mary's early life, she was a very powerful dark witch who she studied much more about dark magic and dark and shadow energy in her earliest life, where she pursued her goals and her great foundation goals in her earliest life in order to further her plans and everything else. During at that time, she was quietly raised and born at a school and at a magical school within the sacred magical universe, within the sacred magic dimension universe where lived warlocks, witches, fairies, light druids, and powerful magical creatures and beings as well. In the school all lived warlocks and wizards and magical fairies and creatures and beings all lived together in harmony at that same school. During at that time, Dark Mary discovered the ancient power and the ancient energy within the school walls, and she decided to infuse herself with the unlimited energy of dark magic and with the power of shadow energy, which by doing so granted her the power of immortality and the power of great intelligence. When she fused, she became so super powerful that her light magic became dark, so dark and so black and so very powerful that it even triggered her dark teleportation, where she teleported completely. In doing so, she granted faster knowledge. She was granted faster and greater powerful immortality at the same rate, which made sure that her powers would be greatly powerful and greatly more very much indestructible. Her magic became very twisted and very dark and very destructive at the same source, where she had the ability of absorbing and re-extracting and the ability to destroy anything else on sight. Dark Mary was very successful because her powers were very unique and very dangerous. During at that time, she defected from the magical school of witches and fairies and wizards and warlocks, and she left the sacred magical dimension at that time as well in her early years life. From that day on, from she left, she exactly began creating a powerful dark machinery of energy and power with dark crystal until four powerful dark magic users known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful decided to aid Dark Mary, which they believe she will remain as their high, powerful priestess. And Dark Mary was very quietly believed that she found powerful, dark, mysterious, dark magic users, mysterious followers who will aid her and who will help her with their studies. During which, at that time, Dogmary accessed all the ancient archives and knowledge about the elemental energies and powers and secrecy of how the sacred founders were able to manipulate the power of shadows and the power of darkness at will, where she became so obsessed and so fixated with the origins of the powers, with the origins of the powers where these creatures were able to originate from. During which at that time she discovered the children of destiny, known as the children of prophecy, that their power was so great that each one of them were able to be corrupted in a very, very dark way, which corrupted their power, and the other forces and the other children of destiny were able to defect from the other, were able to defect from the sacred founders many millennia ago, and many millennia ago, and many centuries ago, during which Dark Mary was very completely proud as she discovered that the elemental creatures and monsters and beings who possess these ancient crystallic element are very powerful creatures and are very powerful beings that lived within the sacred world that exactly resonated throughout the sacred universe and the sacred world as well. And I actually believe that these creatures possess the elemental crystals and power source which could power up the dark magic and the energy within herself. And Dark Mary began her quest and goal to becoming more powerful and more dangerous as well, during which she entered upon a dark magical sacred underworld within the sacred magic universe, where she discovered a powerful source of dark magic which was infused with shadow energy, and she decided to infuse herself with more unlimited shadow energy, where she became more powerful and more extremely immortal, granting her the power of super speed, of dark teleportation, the power of mind reading, the power of resurrection, the power of super strength, the power of great intelligence, and the power of resurrection, and the power of summoning, and the power of great metabolism, and the power of invulnerability, and the power of super strength, and the power of mind reading, and a power of mind controlling at will, and a power of opening dark portals. She was very skilled with those powers and those abilities, and very intelligent with those powers and great abilities. During which at that time she decided to make the sacred ancient cave walls as her own private headquarters, where she can able to focus her studies and a great intelligence, which she began to do so as well. During which at that time she was approached by another high-ranking official of Lord Shadowjack's empire, known as Atherley Greenwich, who came here to offer her a position, a powerful position within Lord Shadowjack's empire, as long as he served Lord Shadowjack with these great goals and conquests. And Dark Mary, known as the Dark Witch, politely exactly listened to elderly Granny's proposal and very much quietly introduction, which could benefit her in many numerous ways, and she decided to accept the proposition, which Dark Mary realizes that it can also benefit her with her goals to further her studies, and as well as her research, and as well as experimentation, and that both of them exactly shook hands together and probably agreed that they'll aid their new master and lord, known as Lord Shadowjack, with these respective conquests to conquering the known universe and the sacred world in the process by any means necessary. On the 15th of January, Dark Mary, and the other dark druids and the other dark witches and the other dark faithful convene within the sacred ancient caves walls in order to speak about the universal heroes being able to being able to halt the process of the Shadow Empire's rising to power and ascendancy. Dark Mary exactly told the other dark magic users and her followers, and she told her followers and the rest of her followers and her disciples that it's not the right time for them to attack, or not the right time for them to intervene. The right time for them in order for them to wait and attack will be the right probable moment in order for them to further their plans and their goals, but never to underestimate the universal heroes as well by any means necessary. On the 20th of February, Dark Mary the Dark Witch was quietly present in Lord Shadowjack's central headquarters within his throne room, where she was able to present to him the very great fastest way to achieve greater power and also greater knowledge and also greater shadow energy in a very faster way, which is created a powerful dark machine which could enhance her power and energy and her abilities at the exact same rate, which could extract shadow energy from dark planets and beautiful world in a matter of moments and in one fell swoop. Lord Shadowjack was very intrigued by this proposition, as Lord Shadowjack told Dark Mary, that the Shadow Empire is now in chaos with the death of the original Lord of Magic for after a year, and that the Shadow Empire warlords and all the others have frequently began to supply him and his empire and his forces with more powerful destructive technology than ever before, and they've agreed to remain as his allies. And Dark Mary was very completely proud and very, very successfully happy that Lord Shadowjack is gratefully rising and ascending, and also ascending in power very quickly and very, very slowly. And Lord Shadowjack even told Dark Mary that the universal heroes have gratefully disappeared, and that their disappearance has caused another power vacuum throughout the Shadow Empire, which has greatly furtherly weakened it, weakened it even further more than ever possible, which in other words, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have become his allies than rather to making them his enemies, even some who have greatly formed their own factions to take control of the Shadow Empire. And Dark Mary was very reluctantly pleased with that, as in completely very happy and very, very, very smiling in a satisfaction that Lord Shadowjack's reign will fully remain invincible and untouchable as well. On the 15th of March, Dark Mary and the rest of her forces and the rest of her followers began powering up their Dark Machine, and Lord Shadowjack was quietly present in order to watch the experiments as Dark Mary and the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, began activating the machine of great destruction, combining the dark magic and the combining science and dark magic all together. She began using her witchcraft on a larger scale than ever before, which created a huge big bubble, a huge magnificent big bubble than ever before that can exactly able to destroy planets and worlds in a matter of minutes, which it did. By doing so, it was able to gain the power to also extract shadow energy and light energy at will as well during out at that rate, when the machine's power and energy was gratefully destroying the planet at will, and the energy was being extracted from the planets and from the worlds in a matter of moments, as the planets was completely destroyed and completely eradicated from every other side. And those planets had no living creatures or beings. They were just little animals and little creatures and beings living all together in harmony, and magical creatures, and they were all destroyed by the great Dark Machine. Dark Mary, known as the Dark Witch, told Lord Shadowjack that the experiment has fully successfully succeeded, meaning in other words that Lord Shadowjack's empire will remain untouchable, and also will remain very much experiment, and will remain also untouchable and gratefully more powerful than anything else before with this experiment and with this greatest achievement. Lord Shadowjack remarked that his empire will remain very much untouchable and very much gratefully more powerful, because he has great loyal high-ranking officials to him, and his mother and father would gladly support him as well in his goal, which have been supporting him ever since he was born. And meaning, in other words, his reign will remain supreme and very, very powerful. He's the most dark and dangerous supreme sorcerer throughout the sacred universe and throughout the sacred world. And Dark Mary, the Dark Witch, was very, very fanatically happy in order to support Lord Shadowjack's rule and conquest, and his plan for conquering known worlds and planets and civilizations throughout the known universe and throughout the sacred universe and throughout the sacred world as well. On the 20th of April, Dark Mary secretly created a hologram, a dark holographic hologram, in order to secretly speak with the other higher ranking officials of the other empire, such as Joe the Dark Druid, the Shadow Empire, the seconds were the most powerful dark magic users, 1 second, and also one dark sister from the new Lolo Magic, and also another dark druid, and another dark faithful from each opposite sides and realms and other dimensions, which they all began to exactly agree that they all have to share this information and knowledge and intelligence from each of the empires and resources, and utilizing their resources in order to find these ancient artifacts and these ancient these ancient mystical artifacts and powerful weapons in order for their powers and energy to become more powerful and to become more powerful and to highly evolve their magic, to highly evolve their dark magic and their powers and their great abilities. And Dark Mary fully successfully agreed that this is the only way they'll be one step ahead of the universal magic heroes, and as well as Lytris and the universal defending heroes, and as well as the universal heroes, and as well as the intergalactic coalition, which will be able to destroy them in a matter of minutes. The Dark Sister was able to tell the members, the secret members who were quietly convening on the dark secretive holographic on a dark holographic hologram, where they were able to speak in the ancient dark runes of the ancient cave, telling them that it's best that they share the information and the intelligence about the sources and secrets of immortalities rather than not to share it with their forces or any of their associates for the time being, but rather to in order to expand their plans and their goals. And Dark Mary completely agreed that she has greater plans and greater informational source in order to find and scan and search for the dark energy spell ultimate power. And the rest of them agreed that they'll do and the rest of them successfully agreed that they'll do the very same in order to save their knowledge and their intellect together as well. On the 19th of May, the Dark Witch Mary was quietly right beside Lord Shadowjack's central headquarters of his throne room, as one of his warlords told Lord Shadowjack that they need time in order to mobilize his fleet and everything else in order to conquer more worlds and planets. Dark Mary, the Dark Witch, advises Lord Shadowjack that it's best for them to wait and see if the Shadow Empire warlords will attack or strike again, since the war is quietly reaching its darker end, and with the new threat of the new Lord of Magic, and also with the Universal Prince rising and ascending to power, which they could prove a very powerful, difficult adversary, and that the Universal Prince and the Star Prince have formed a secretive, powerful alliance which will aid each other on their respective conquests. Lord Shadowjack exactly told Dark Mary that his alliance with the Sacred Circle will also further his ultimate plans and goals for humanity and for the Four Nation Hunters and for the Sacred World, which in other words, he will control the sacred magic universe in a process in order to enslave every living creature and being throughout the magic dimension in order to control it and use its power against them by destroying the fairies and the Four Nation Hunters and the warlocks and all the other magical creatures in the process, which in other words they'll be mind controlled and be put into the test for him to become more powerful and more dangerous than ever before. And Lord Shadowjack told Dark Mary that it's best that she proceed with phase 2 of the plan in order to make sure that everything goes accordingly. And Dark Mary completely heavily agreed with that as well. On the 21st of June, Dark Mary met up with the Dark Witches. Dark Mary met up with the Dark Witches throughout the ancient dark ruins of a dark, powerful crystal temple, where she told them that it's time for them to begin their full-scaling attack on the rest of the magical worlds, on the rest of the magical schools, worlds, and planets of the sacred magical dimension, in order for them to begin their campaign once and for all, so that the conquest can be fully be set in motion, and that everything else could go according to plan, the way it's intended to be. The Dark Witches completely agreed and asked Dark Mary what they will possibly gain and what they will possibly benefit from this. Dark Mary told them that they'll benefit a glory and a very powerful adventure if they work with her side by side as one dark, powerful witch to the other dark witches as well. They all agreed on that together as well. That's exactly what they'll do as well. On the 27th of July, the Dark Druids completely reported to Dark Mary on her secret dark laboratory within Lord Shadowjack's central headquarters of his home planet known as Planet Power, where they were able to tell her that the universal magic fairies thwarted the attack, and that the Dark Witches were forced to retreat and evacuate, and were forced to successfully retreat, but not until they secretly succeeded with their plan in controlling the magic crystals and absorbing their power. And Dark Mary was completely very satisfied and very happy with that, meaning that the plan successfully worked the way it was meant to go. She told the Dark Druid to keep her in tabs and to keep her informed of anything else going on, while she kept on searching, knowing more about the power of darkness and how the ancient and how the ancient king of darkness was able to wield the power of darkness and control it with his very, very own powers. And how I was able to control the power of darkness with his very own powers, which was able to study throughout the ancient books and folklores, and that she was very obsessed with controlling the power of darkness and the power of utilizing shadow energy and turning it into a destructive force for her own selfish use. On the 19th of August, Dark Mary secretly convened with the other dark and powerful, mysterious magic users on the same on a different basis of on a different on a different ancient dark crystal cave where they were able to meet up where they'll be able to meet up in dark holographic hologram in order to conceal their identities and their face, where they'll be able to share information and everything else. The Dark Sister told Dark Mary that her information exactly paid off very well, as her forces were able to successfully conquer many more worlds and planets, but not until the Four Nation Hunters and the Intergalactic Coalition were forced to intervene. The Dark Druid exactly told Dark Mary that the purpose of her plan and everything else is quietly going the way it was supposed to be, but also making sure that Lord Shadowjack's reign and his empire remain in power against all odds, defeating all odds and against any obstacle or any threat that dare get in the way. And Dark Mary successfully agreed that she's willing to wield and obtain and acquire a new power known as a power of controlling shadows and a power of darkness at will, which is what the ancient king of darkness did many in ancient times ago. The Dark Sister warned Dark Mary that that type of ancient elemental force is beyond controlling, and it's beyond the power of controlling, as it proved when the monsters of the dark dimension were heavily summoned by the monster queen from the other dark dimension, who proves to be very powerful and very immortal, and her powers are quietly radiating, also and absorbing and extracting the dark magic from the dark dimension. Meaning, in other words, she's very, very powerful and very dangerous, but her dark magic is very quietly uncontrollable and also unstable, which her dark magic will become the same result as well. Dark Mary reassured the most powerful dark magic users and also her associate that will never happen to her, as she's very skilled in dark magic and in black negative magic, as she's got the situation under control as well. On the 15th of September, Dark Mary and the rest of her followers, known as the Dark Druid, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, secretly exactly began to converge their dark magic and power, activating a powerful crystal. And Dark Mary was very successfully pleased that the crystal hall has been highly activated and that it's ready for the final phase, meaning phase 2 as well. On the 13th of October, Dark Mary secretly traveled into the sacred magical forest of the magic universe, where she was able to absorb and extract a piece of light energy and light magic, not until the fairies began to attack her, and she began using her shield in order to deflect the attack, and she began to teleporting herself away. But the fairies exactly wondered what was Dark Mary doing within this part of the sacred magical worlds of this planet as well. On the 15th of November, Dark Mary exactly attended to Lord Shadowjack within a throne room and secretly bowed to him and told him that she's managed to make greater progress with her great research and everything else, and that soon enough Lord Shadowjack will become more powerful and more greatly invincible and also untouchable than ever before. Lord Shadowjack told Dark Mary that he needs more power and he needs more energy in order to defeat his adversaries and his obstacles. But Lord Shadowjack told Dark Mary that his associates are willing to help him further his goals and his plans by any means, and said to have sole control over the sacred universe and over the sacred world and over the known universe, as long as he benefits his ultimate goal and his secret dark galactic goals for sacred universal domination in a process as well. And Dark Mary was very reluctantly pleased as well to hear that as well. On the 20th of November, Dark Mary secretly met up with Elderly Granny within her asteroid base and told her that the progress of the planet successfully with Elderly Granny, which told her that the plans of her progress have successfully managed to pick up pace and that everything else is going according to plan the way it's intended to be, and that the plans have been heavily been put in place and everything else has been put in action. And Elderly Granny Witch was very proud and very successfully happy that Dark Mary has managed to do something that can never be achieved ever before as well. On the 29th of November, Dark Mary's forces completely fought up against the universal magic heroes on another magical world, as the dark druids and the dark witches and the dark faithful were trying to acquire the most powerful crystals and were able to be under attack or being under attack by the universal magic heroes, who gravely began to attacking them. And Universal Magical was very quietly surprised to see Dark Mary as she began using her dark magical powers and abilities in order to evade her and attack her. And Dark Mary used her dark magic and powers and ability and her newfound skills of dark magic in order to attack Universal Magical. That both of them were heavily evenly matched with their powers and their abilities, as she realizes that Dark Mary has completely gained new powers and new abilities in a matter of moments, which makes her a very powerful, dangerous adversary and a dangerous foe who can never be underestimated. During that time, which Dark Mary told the rest of her forces that it's time for them to retreat and it's time for them to teleport away completely, as they all completely disappeared and teleport away. Universal Magical was very surprised and very shocked of her life that Dark Mary is growing powerful and she's growing very, very dangerous as well in the process. On the 15th of December, Dark Mary and the rest of her forces began to secretly meet up in our secret laboratory within Lord Shadowjack's central headquarters of his home planet known as Planet Power, where they were able to combine the energy and all the power source and everything else that we're able to extract and absorb from the other side and activating more crystals and power. And Dark Mary was very, very reluctantly pleased the power source is finally at its greatest capacity and that there's one thing she has to do for herself as well. On the 19th of January, Dark Mary secretly met up with Witchcaster, the most powerful Dark Witch, and offered her assistance with her goals in order for her to further her research more often to unlocking more power and more mysteries than ever before, and the secrets of shadow energy and the secrets of dark magic and the secrets of negative and powerful dark magic. Witchcaster successfully agreed that she'll remain as an ally to Dark Mary and that she'll also help him further her goals in order to learning more about the Dark Energy spell Ultimate Power and its origin and its power source. The two dark and powerful, formidable witches agreed to aid each other on their common goal and on their common interests, and Dark Mary was very proud and very successfully happy with that. On the 15th of February, Dark Mary secretly bowed. Dark Mary bowed to Lord Shadowjack within his central headquarters of his throne room and told him that her research is picking up pace and that his empire would remain powerful and very, very dangerous and very, very deadly as well. And that she was able to tell him that her experiments are able to make greater progress than ever before, and that she's managed to unlock some few secrets and some few secretive secrets of nature and power and shadow energy and all of that. And that in a matter of moments and in a matter of months or years, you will be more powerful and more deadly and more very, very greatly invincible. And Lord Shadowjack was very happy and very stated to the Dark Witch that that is all he needed to hear and that is all he needed to see as well. On the 12th of March, Dark Mary began watching the Universal Magic Hero Fairies throughout her magical ice bubble, ball, where she was able to begin to monitor activities until one dark faithful told her that everything else is in place and everything else is ready to begin. And Dark Mary was successfully very pleased of herself and very successfully happy that her victory is about to gain more power than anything else ever before. Despite this, guys, Dark Mary is a very powerful, dark, immortal witch, very skillful, high-ranking official in the dark arts and in dark magic in Lord Shadowjack's empire. Very clever, very smart, very intelligent, and very ambitious, and very determined to study and unlock the secrets of dark magic and shadow energy, and by any means necessary. She's very skilled in teleportation, opening portals, mind reading, mind controlling, resurrection, summoning, the ability of controlling living creatures and dark things and living things and dead things at will, and the ability of and also as well as the ability of combining science and dark technology as well. And she's a leader of the most powerful group of dark magic users known as the Dark Druid, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, and she leads them with great authority. Her devotion to Lord Shadowjack is very powerful and very, very great, as she's willing to make sure that his will and his plans bear fruit. no matter what. She believes in his goals to conquer and rule the known worlds and the rest of the sacred universe and the rest of the sacred universe and then the rest of the sacred universe and the sacred world. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to wipe out its enemies and its forces at will. She learns from her great failures and from her great mistakes to never again underestimate, the universal magic hero's ability and universal magical's ability in thwarting her plans and her operation. And she learns that never to underestimate them again completely. Her and universal magical are evenly matched against their powers as an evenly. She realizes that the universal magical is her greatest adversary who can never be underestimated, as they're both on evenly matched with their powers and their abilities as well in magic combat. And she learns to never again to underestimate her. Despite this, she's very ambitious and very intelligent. She's been studying her whole life in order to know the ancient ways and power of dark magic and the origins of dark magic and the previous barriers and wielders of dark magic, as she's willing to unlock their secrets and powers so she can wield the power of shadows and the power so she can wield and control the power of shadows and the power of darkness, as she studied the ancient text and the ancient word on the king of darkness who was able to wield the power and who was able to wield and control the power of darkness and shadows at will. Despite this, she's very intelligent, very, very devoted to Lord Shadowjack, and very ruthless and very evil and very, very powerful. Skillful enough in dark teleportation, she can teleport herself at will, and she can open portals as well, and very, very, very loyal to Lord Shadowjack, and she's very respectful of the other high-ranking officials such as Elderly Grinding Witch and Danny the Dark Druid. Very, very loyal to very, very respectful to the other high-ranking officials, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure Lord Shadowjack's empire remains the most powerful and deadliest and untouchable empire throughout sacred history. It is thanks to her advancement that Lord Shadowjack's empire remains untouchable and also indestructible. And that is the second that is actually the second in power. That is actually the third and second in power above the Shadow Empire, the Winter Empire, the Red Empire, and the Red Empire and Dark Master's Empire. That Lord Shadowjack's empire remains untouchable and also very much greatly indestructible as well in the process. Thanks to her dark experiments and her advancement, that Lord Shadowjack's empire remains untouchable and also indestructible. She maintains her usual bases of operation, such as her secret caves and dark laboratories where she can secretly study and focus everything else, and where she can secretly convene with the rest of her secret associates, such as the Dark Druid, the Dark Witch, the Dark Faithful, the Dark Second, the Second, and as well as the Dark Sister, who are very, very powerful dark associated and are also very powerful dark immortal magic users who secretly convene on dark magical caves, where they secretly convene in the dark holographic hologram, where they can easily conceal their identities when they're all alone, and where they can able to speak about their plans and their goals and secretly further their own plans and their goals as well. She has great plans and great plans for the rest of the sacred magical universe dimension, and she's willing to conquer it at will, as she forms powerful secretive alliances with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, and with Dark Witchcaster as well, and as well as Elderly Grinding Witch and the rest of the other powerful dark formidable mortal dark magic users as well. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to remain in power and in control, and also to become too powerful and too dangerous and too deadly. She's very loyal and very devoted and very fearless in her loyal to protecting Lord Shadowjack's reign and rule, and that she believes that he must become the supreme dark that he believes that he must become the supreme dark Lord Shadowjack warlock that ever existed throughout the rest of sacred history, that could alter sacred history forever. And she's very skilled in summoning creatures and monsters in other places, very skilled in combining dark magic and science all together in one, creating very powerful dark machines and very greater powerful dark machines in order to enlarge her witchcraft, in order to enlarge her witchcraft on a larger scale than ever before. Very determined and very fearless in Lord Shadowjack's loyalty, and willing to protect him at any cost, and making sure that his empire remains untouchable and also very greatly indestructible as well in the process. Lord Shadowjack has great resources and powerful armadas such as battleships, battle cruisers, warships, and airship fleets such as battle cruisers, warships, and airship fleets and battleships at his disposal. He has the most powerful dark magic users at his disposal as well. And despite this, Dark Mary also as well has a group of powerful, powerful, devoted, and very loyal group of dark magic users who are her followers, known as the Dark Druid and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, who serve her relentlessly and who are very devoted to her and to Lord Shadow Jack, no matter what and no matter the cost. They are very loyal and very, very powerful. Despite this, Dark Mary's influence has spread throughout the rest of the sacred magical world as she's managed to spread her influence throughout the remaining cities of the sacred world and the remaining cities of the sacred world and the rest of the sacred world cities and worlds, planets, and civilization in order for Lord Shadow Jack's control and influence to spread throughout the known universe so that he can have full control over the sacred worlds and cities. Despite this, Dark Mary learns from experience to never again underestimate the Intergalactic Coalition's abilities and the Four Nation Hunters' abilities in thwarting her plans and operation, and she learns again to never take them lightly as well. She's very powerful, very skilled in black and dark magic, in the dark arts, very, very, very powerful in creating dark illusions, in creating dark holographic graphic holograms of of herself as well at will, and very, very fanatically loyal and devoted to Lord Shadow Jack, no matter what. She's fearless and very cunning, ruthless, smart, intelligent, lived for many years in the sacred magic dimension for many years, brought and grew up in the magical school of witches and fairies, where she was able to acquire the new power and become more powerful and extremely more immortal. Very powerful, determined, smart, and intelligent, and very, 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 very ambitious. Not meant to be underestimated. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I will exactly see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a wonderful, blessed day and a great day indeed. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for your support in watching and in viewing. Have a great, blessed day and enjoy yourself and have a wonderful day. And today, guys, the day is cloudy. As you know, it's on and off, but never know exactly what can happen. So God bless you all. Love you guys and take care. Have fun and have a great, great day. See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.